These are Canada provinces. Alberta. Capital, Edmonton. Bird, great horned owl. Slogan or nickname, Sunny Alberta. Flower, wild rose. Rock, petrified wood. Tree, lodgepole pine. British Columbia. Victoria, Steller's J. Supernatural BC. Pacific dogwood, jade, western red cedar. Manitoba. Winnipeg, great gray owl, Keystone Province, prairie crocus, none, white spruce. New Brunswick, Fredericton, black-capped chickadee, Loyalist Province, purple violet, none, balsam fir. Newfoundland and Labrador. St. John's, puffin, Newfoundland and Labrador. Pitcher plant, Labradorite black spruce. Northwest Territories. Yellowknife, gerfalcon. Symbol, polar bear. Mountain avens. Native gold, tamarack. Nova Scotia, Halifax. Osprey, Canada's ocean playground. Mayflower, agate, red spruce. Nunavut, equilit, rock ptarmigan. Nunavut, our strength. Purple saxifrage, none. Ontario. Toronto, common loon, yours to discover. White trillium, amethyst, eastern white pine. Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown, blue jay. Spud Island, Garden of the Gulf, lady slipper, none, red oak. Quebec. Quebec City, snowy owl, masters in our own house. Blue flag, asbestos, yellow birch. Saskatchewan, Regina, sharp-tailed grouse, breadbasket province, prairie lily, none, white birch. Yukon Territory, whitehorse, common raven, Yukon means great river. Fireweed, lazulite, none. Dolphin, a mammal which is found in every ocean of the world. The gray bottlenose dolphin may be 15 feet long and weigh 440 pounds. The dolphin is playful, friendly, and intelligent. Some dolphins have been known to help people who were drowning or injured. The dolphin has its own sonar system. It can tell where things are by clicking or whistling and then listening for echoes. Earthworm, a common worm that can grow to be 11 feet long in tropical areas. These helpful creatures do more than make good fishing bait, they actually help make soil richer. Earthworms eat dead plants and animal remains that they find as they burrow their way into the ground. Their castings then help fertilize the soil. Tunnels made from earthworms also help air and water get down into the soil. Engraver beetle, any of several kinds of beetles which live under the bark of trees. All beetles are insects, invertebrates. Each kind of engraver beetle lives in a different kind of tree. Each kind also makes a particular pattern in the wood as it makes tunnels beneath the bark. Sometimes engraver beetles are called bark beetles. They are a favorite food of woodpeckers. Fairy shrimp, a very small invertebrate which swims backward. It can be found worldwide in temporary ponds. Most fairy shrimps are orange or pink. The eggs of the fairy shrimp have been designed so that they can survive on dry land for several years, waiting for rain to come and fill a puddle. Then the eggs hatch. Flounder, a fish which lives in the Atlantic Ocean. When the flounder is very small, it swims upright. As it grows larger, it swims on its side, and the eye on the underside moves up to the top side. The flounder lives in the sand or mud at the bottom of the ocean. It can change its color to match its surroundings. Flying dragon, a reptile which lives in parts of Asia. The flying dragon is a lizard about 8 inches long. It has scaly flaps of skin which stretch from its front legs to its back legs. It folds the flaps close to its body when it rests in the treetops. To search for food or to escape from its enemies, it spreads its flaps and leaps into the air. It can glide for about 40 feet. Golden pheasant, a beautiful bird that comes from the mountains of China. These birds are often captured to be displayed in zoos. Golden pheasants spend most of the time on the ground looking for food. At night they perch high up in a tree. They cannot fly very far but may go as fast as 40 miles an hour. The male golden pheasant has a colorful body and long tail feathers. The female is a speckled brown. Gnu, an African mammal which is a kind of antelope. The gnu is also called the wildebeest. It has a large head, curving horns, a black mane, and a white beard. Its shoulder height is 3 to 4 feet. The gnu's legs are thin, and its tail is like a horse's tail. The gnu lives in large herds on the open plains of central and southeastern Africa. It eats grass, twigs, and leaves. Goldfish, a fish which first came from Asia but today also lives wild in Europe and North America. The goldfish is a kind of carp which has been raised as a pet for hundreds of years in China. In the wild, the goldfish is a dark olive brown. It eats plants and small animals. The goldfish is sturdy and easy to keep as a pet. Some pet goldfish have lived for 40 years. Gray squirrel, a mammal which can be seen year-round in North America wherever there are trees. The gray squirrel is 15 to 21 inches long from nose to tail. Its tail is very important because it helps the squirrel to balance itself in the tree. The squirrel's main food is nuts, but if nuts are scarce, it will eat insects, fruit, and garden plants. Like mice, rats, and beavers, the squirrel is a rodent or gnawing mammal. Gray wolf, a mammal which lives in Russia, China, Canada, and the northern United States. It is sometimes called the timber wolf. Wolves live in groups called packs. There are usually 7 or 8 wolves in a pack. The wolf is from 5 to 6.5 feet long, including its bushy tail. It eats whatever is available, from large animals such as moose and deer to small animals such as rabbits, mice, or even insects. House wren, a small brown bird which usually holds its tail straight up. The house wren will build its nest almost anywhere, in tree holes, birdhouses, flower pots, mailboxes, old hats, or pockets of old coats. The house wren is a helpful bird which eats insect pests. It lives throughout southern Canada, most of the United States, and northern Mexico. Humpback whale, a large mammal which lives in all oceans of the world. People enjoy watching these huge animals make spectacular leaps out of the water. Humpback whales grow to be 40 to 50 feet long and eat over a ton of food a day. These whales communicate with each other in songs that may last up to 30 minutes. Other whales can hear this song many miles away. Iguana, a large green lizard with a crest of scales down its back. The common iguana may grow to be 6.5 feet long. It is a shy, slow-moving reptile which lives in the tropical, hot areas of South America. It likes to rest in the overhanging branches of a tree beside a lake or river. When danger approaches, the common iguana drops into the water and escapes by swimming away. Iwi, a brightly colored bird found only in Hawaii. It has a bright red body with orange legs and a bill curved just right to reach the nectar in the ohia flower, which is its primary food. The iwi is also known as the honey creeper. Katydid, a large green insect, invertebrate, which resembles a grasshopper. A katydid has very long hind legs, which it rubs together to produce its characteristic sounds. Only the male can produce sound. Because of their color and shape, katydids blend in well with leaves and blades of grass, a protection called camouflage. Ladybug, an insect, invertebrate, with a round red shell with black dots. Ladybugs, also called ladybird beetles, are friends to gardeners and farmers because they eat aphids, insects that destroy crops. God protects ladybugs from animals which would eat them by giving these insects a bad taste and a hard shell. Lobster, an invertebrate which lives in both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The lobster has a hard outer shell, 2 pairs of antennae, 4 pairs of legs, and a pair of claws. The narrow claw or cutter is used to slice the dead fish which the lobster eats. The heavier claw or crusher is used to crush clam shells. The lobster's eyes are set on stalks which are constantly moving as the lobster searches for food or enemies. Luna moth, an insect invertebrate which lives in eastern North America. A luna caterpillar eats walnut hickory leaves. It spins a thin, silken cocoon. Sometimes you can hear the cocoon rattle as the insect inside moves. The adult luna moth gets food by sucking nectar and tree sap through a long tube. It has feathery antennae and a broad, light green wings, with an eye spot on each wing. This beautiful moth has a wingspread of 4 inches. Monarch butterfly, an invertebrate which lives in southern Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Each fall, thousands of monarch butterflies gather in swarms and travel to groves of trees in California and Mexico where they spend the winter. The monarch is the only butterfly which migrates north and south every year as birds do. Like all butterflies, the monarch is an insect. Moose, a mammal found in the northern areas of the world. The moose is the largest deer. It can be up to 7.5 feet tall at its shoulder and can weigh up to 1,800 pounds. The moose has brownish hair. A flap of skin and hair called the bell hangs from its neck. The male has broad antlers. The moose eats leaves, bark, and water plants. Mountain goat, a mammal which lives only on the highest parts of the mountains in Alaska, western Canada, and the northwestern United States. The shaggy white mountain goat is a kind of antelope and not a true goat. It is very sure-footed because its flexible hooves help it to climb. A mountain goat kid, baby, is able to stand up very soon after it is born and in several days is able to climb as well as its mother. Mountain lion, a mammal in the cat family which lives throughout North and South America. It is sometimes called the cougar, puma, panther, or catamount. A baby mountain lion is spotted, but an adult has a tawny or grayish coat. The adult mountain lion is one of the few members of the cat family which does not have a spotted or striped coat. Mule deer, a mammal which lives in the western parts of the United States and Canada. The mule deer got its name because it has very long mule-like ears. Most mule deer have black-tipped tails. The mule deer is a good swimmer and can run 35 miles per hour. It eats grasses, berries, and evergreen twigs. Newt, a small, slender amphibian with weak legs. It is a salamander, which is called a newt when it lives in the water and an eft when it lives on the land. Like many salamanders, the newt can grow back a lost leg. There are several varieties of newts in North America. The eastern newt or red eft is the most common. Northern pike, a freshwater fish found in the northern United States and Canada. It grows to about 4 feet long and weighs up to 46 pounds. The northern pike has sighting grooves on its long snout which allow it to attack its prey with lightning speed from distances up to 30 feet. This ability makes the northern pike the best hunter of the freshwater fishes. Octopus, an invertebrate with 8 arms or tentacles, which is found in all seas. Although some octopuses are large, most are small. The average octopus has a body the size of an orange. The octopus's tentacles have suction discs on them that help the octopus to catch and hold its prey. The octopus can swim, but it usually crawls. If it loses a tentacle, it is able to grow a new one. Osprey, a bird which is found all over the world near water. The osprey is sometimes called the fish hawk because it will eat only fish. The osprey has keen eyesight. It can spot a fish from 150 feet above the water. It catches its dinner by plunging feet first into the water and snaring the fish with its sharp claws. Oystercatcher, a bird which lives along seacoasts all over the world. 2 kinds of oystercatchers live in North America. The American oystercatcher lives on the east coast, and the black oystercatcher lives on the west coast. God gave the oystercatcher a long, flat, red bill, which it uses to pry open oysters and mussels and to dig snails and worms out of the sand. Parrotfish, a colorful tropical fish that eats coral. Its teeth grow together on the upper and lower jaw, forming a beak which it uses to chew the coral. It is found in warm ocean waters and grows to be 2 to 3 feet long. The parrotfish forms a sleeping bag of mucus around itself at night in order to protect itself from predators. Pika, a small animal found in Asia, Europe, and the western United States and Canada. The pika lives in rocky places. It gathers grasses and weeds for its winter food. The pika spreads the plants out to dry and piles them up in haystacks under a rock. When it is not busy harvesting food, the pika likes to sun itself on the rocks. It warns other pikas of danger with an ear-splitting whistle. Sometimes the pika is called the whistling hare. Polar bear, a large mammal which lives in the icy Arctic regions of the world. Some polar bears are even bigger than Alaskan brown bears. The polar bear's white fur provides camouflage for the bear as it travels over the ice in search of seals, its favorite food. The polar bear's partially webbed front paws help it make an excellent swimmer. When the ice is too thin to walk on, the polar bear dives into the water and swims under the ice. Prairie dog, a brown furry mammal found in the western parts of Canada, Mexico, and the United States. The prairie dog is from 11 to 13 inches long. It is not a dog at all, but it is a rodent in the squirrel family. It gets its name because it barks to warn other prairie dogs of approaching danger. Prairie dogs live in large groups and make their homes in underground burrows. The prairie dog has pouches inside its cheeks. It fills its pouches with food, which it carries to its burrow for winter food supply. Pronghorn, a deer-like mammal with horns that curve backward. The pronghorn is about 3 feet tall at the shoulder. It is sometimes called an antelope, but is not a true antelope. It is the fastest animal in North America. A 4-day-old kid can outrun a man. An adult pronghorn runs at the average speed of 45 miles per hour and can go as fast as 70 miles per hour over very short distances. Queen angelfish, a tropical fish found in shallow waters of brightly colored coral reefs from Florida to Brazil. Queen angelfish blend well with their surroundings because of their bright coloration. Young angelfish are a different color than the adults and often act as cleaners for larger fish by eating parasites that get on their gills and scales. Raccoon, a North American mammal well known for its soft, thick fur, black mask, and bushy ringed tail. The raccoon is from 30 to 33 inches long and weighs from 12 to 16 pounds. It sleeps during the day and searches for food at night. It eats almost anything: nuts, berries, grain, insects, fish, frogs, birds, and small mammals. A raccoon often dunks its food in water before eating it. Red-eyed vireo, a bird which lives in North and South America. The red-eyed vireo is greenish above and white below. It likes to sing in the summer, even on very hot days, and even when it is struggling to catch a large insect for its meal. The vireo sings its name in its song. The word vireo comes from a Latin word which means "I am green." Red fox, a mammal in the dog family which lives in Asia, Europe, Canada, and the United States. The red fox's coat may be black, red, silver, or a mixture of brown and red. The red fox hunts mice, birds, turtles, and snakes. It also eats fruit, especially raspberries. The red fox is a skillful and sly hunter. Because it is such a crafty animal, some people enjoy hunting the red fox. Red salamander, a small amphibian which lives in the eastern United States. The red salamander is bright red with black spots on its back. It has a stout body, short legs, a short tail, and yellow eyes. Its favorite food is earthworms. The red salamander is usually found under leaves in a cool stream or a damp place in the woods. Red-winged blackbird, a bird found throughout most of North America. The red-winged blackbird gets its name because the male is black with red shoulder patches edged in yellow. The red-winged blackbird is a helpful bird because it eats many insects. It usually nests among tall plants growing in swamps. It protects its territory and will attack any animal, even a cat, that threatens its nest. Ringneck snake, a reptile which is common in many places throughout North America. The ringneck snake is not often seen because it hides under rocks and in damp places in forests, grasslands, and deserts. It has a black, brown, or olive back and a red, yellow, or orange belly. It is sometimes called the corkscrew snake because if it's frightened, it coils its tail tightly. Ringtail, a mammal that lives in the southwestern United States and Mexico. The ringtail is similar to the raccoon. It has a cat-like body and a very long, bushy tail. It sleeps by day and hunts mice and rats by night. In frontier days, miners used to keep ringtails in the mines to control the rats, so the ringtail was named the miner's cat. It can be tamed, and it was a popular pet in Mexico in the 1800s. River otter, a mammal which lives alongside rivers, streams, and lakes throughout the United States and Canada. The otter is very graceful and playful. It likes to slide downhill on ice or mud, wrestle, and play tag. The river otter is well designed for life in and around the water. It has webbed feet and its eyes and ears close up under water. Its two coats of fur work together to keep the otter warm and dry, even in cold water. Roseate flamingo, a bright pink bird with a long, narrow, spoon-shaped bill and legs like stilts. The spoonbill lives in areas along the Gulf Coast, Mexico, and South America. The roseate spoonbill spends most of its time wading in the water, feeding on small fish, shrimp, and shellfish. It sweeps its bill through the water, clamping it shut when it finds food. Sawfish, a shark-like fish which lives in warm, shallow coastal waters in many parts of the world. The sawfish has a flattened head and a long saw-like snout with rows of teeth along its edges. The sawfish's snout can be as much as 6 feet long and 1 foot wide. Scarlet tanager, a bird which lives in the thick woodlands of the eastern United States and Canada. During the summer, the male scarlet tanager is bright red with black wings. During the rest of the year, both male and female are olive green. The scarlet tanager eats seeds, berries, and many harmful insects, which it picks out from under the bark of the trees. Snapping turtle, a reptile which is found in most parts of the United States and Central America. The snapping turtle has a small shell. It cannot pull its head in and feet inside for protection. The snapper is well able to take care of itself, however. Its powerful jaws and sharp beak allow it to seize fish, frogs, and even snakes, smaller turtles, and baby alligators. The snapping turtle may live to be 60 years old and weigh up to 200 pounds. Snowy egret, a beautiful pure white bird with a black bill, black legs, and yellow feet. The snowy egret lives in the wetlands of the southern United States. It searches for its food by stirring up the mud at the bottom of the pond with its feet. Then it dashes about, using its bill to seize the small fish it has startled. At one time, snowy egrets were hunted for their beautiful plumes, but today they are protected by law. Spotted salamander, an amphibian common to parts of the eastern United States and Canada. It lives in damp places and eats grubs, worms, and insects. It does not drink, but it gets the moisture it needs directly through its skin. If it's handled roughly, the spotted salamander protects itself by giving off a fluid that is poisonous to some animals. Starfish, an invertebrate of the sea. The starfish is not really a fish at all. It is more properly called the sea star. Most starfish have 5 arms, but some have up to 20. Those with many arms are called sunstars. The starfish's arms are attached to its body, which is called the central disc. If a starfish is cut into many pieces, every piece that includes some of the central disc will grow into a new starfish. Tailor bird, a very small bird found in China, India, and the Philippines. To make a camouflage nest for its young, the tailor bird sews the edges of leaves together with strips of thread or plant fibers. The bird's sharp-pointed bill is its needle. After sewing the nest, it then lines it with soft materials. Tiger swallowtail butterfly, the most common butterfly in Canada and the United States. Like other insects, the tiger swallowtail is an invertebrate. Its rear wings have long tails which give the tiger swallowtail its name. The tiger swallowtail caterpillar has a horn-like scent gland on the top of its head. When the caterpillar is disturbed, it gives off an evil-smelling odor which often drives away enemies. Tree frog, a tree-dwelling amphibian found in all parts of the world except Antarctica. Most tree frogs are less than 2 inches long. A tree frog can cling to the branches of trees because it has sticky pads called adhesive discs on its feet. Tree frogs' eggs are laid in the branches of trees overhanging the water. When the tadpoles hatch, they fall into the water where they develop into adult tree frogs. Upside-down catfish, a well-known fish which swims on its back. The upside-down catfish lives in Africa and grows to be about 12 inches long. Most fish have a lighter colored belly, but the upside-down catfish has a darker belly for protection. Viper, a type of snake with long, hollow fangs and special glands which make poison. Vipers are reptiles which are found over most of the world. Some common North American vipers are the rattlesnake and the water moccasin. Most rattlesnakes are about 2 feet long, although the diamondback rattlesnake may be 8 feet long. The water moccasin lives in swamps and streams in the southeastern United States. Walrus, a large mammal which lives in the oceans of the north. This sea mammal is especially known for its 2 ivory tusks. It also has blubber and thick skin which keep it warm as it rests on ice floes in the Arctic. The walrus has a bellow that sounds like a loud bell in the distance. This bellow can be heard half a mile away. White-tailed deer, a mammal which lives in North America. It lives in open woodlands near water. The white-tailed deer is 3 to 3.5 feet tall at the shoulder. It has a reddish-brown coat and its tail is white on the underside. It raises its tail to signal that danger is near. The female deer or doe also uses her tail as a flag to lead her fawn through a dark forest. The male deer or buck has antlers which are shed each year. Wolverine, a mammal which lives in the cold regions of Alaska, Canada, Asia, Europe, and the northwestern United States. The wolverine is about 3.5 feet long and weighs 60 pounds. It is considered the fiercest animal of its size. Though small, the wolverine is fierce enough to steal food from bears and mountain lions. It has thick fur and broad feet which are like snowshoes. Sometimes the wolverine is called the skunk bear, the Indian devil, or the glutton. Woodchuck, a mammal which lives in underground burrows in southern Canada and the eastern United States. The woodchuck is a rodent in the squirrel family. A similar animal, the marmot, lives in the west. The woodchuck eats clover, alfalfa, and other plants. It is one of the few mammals which truly hibernate. It eats all summer and then sleeps until late winter. The body temperature of a hibernating woodchuck drops from 96 degrees Fahrenheit to 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Yellow jacket, a yellow and black insect, invertebrate, which often nests around people's homes. Yellow jackets will sting to defend their nests if they are disturbed. A yellow jacket is attracted to the juices of ripe fruits and it likes jam and lemonade. Yellow warbler, a small bird found at the edges of woodlands and in cities of most of the United States and Canada. It migrates to South and Central America for the winter. Cowbirds often lay their eggs in a warbler's nest in hopes that the warbler will hatch the egg. Zebra, a horse-like mammal which lives on the plains of Africa. The zebra's black and white stripes provide protection by allowing the zebra to blend in with its surroundings. The zebra also escapes from its enemies by running. It can run up to 40 miles per hour. The zebra measures from 4 to 5 feet tall at the shoulder. Zebrafish, a brightly colored tropical fish found in rivers in southern India and Burma. The largest zebrafish is only 5 inches long. Because of their beautiful colors and small size, zebrafish are very popular with aquarium owners.